Hi everybody, welcome to tonight's Facebook Live. We're going to be journeying deep into your DNA and doing some amazing shifts for the hidden programs that you've got stored inside your DNA, which will, create prejudices and racisms and keep you disconnected from other people. So I really look forward to hanging out with you all tonight on this Facebook Live. It's going to be really interesting. It's going to be a fantastic opportunity for us to do some world healings, which I think we kind of forget about because we get so busy worrying about our own self, our own path forwards, our own beliefs that we need to transform, our own manifestations, that we can sometimes kind of forget to kind of expand out and look at actually what we can do for the world, look at what we can do for the collective consciousness. Because at the end of the day, we're also interconnected, and some of the reasons why you're not moving forward in your life could actually be because there's a lot of belief systems in the collective consciousness which are holding you back. So I really welcome you all tonight to come and help unlock this world that we live in, so that we can have a more beautiful experience as a whole of people. So for those that don't know me, I'm Vanya Silverton. I'm an energy healer. I teach theta healing, and I look forward to taking you on an adventure tonight. So what are we doing tonight? We are going into your DNA, and your DNA is a living library inside your body. We're going to go in and we're going to be looking at all the hidden prejudices and judgments and racisms that you have that may be keeping you separate from other people. We're also going to be looking at all the hidden programs that you still might be carrying from religion. So we're going to go and have a look at clearing all of that. And we're just going to really just spend some time embracing the melting pot of information that you come from, so that we can move forward in a greater way. So where should we begin? I think I'd like to begin by just saying, I come from a small hick town in Australia, and there was a lot of racism where I grew up. It was very much a consciousness of us versus them, or we kind of grew up. There's kind of three sectors in our little town. It was you're either Australian, or you're Italian, or you're Aboriginal. And so society where I grew up was very segregated on some level. People kept to themselves. They didn't interact so greatly, or there'd be a lot of judgments against other people. And then I moved to London, and for all of you guys living in London, it's an amazing cosmopolitan city, and you're exposed to all the different cultures, all the different ethnic groups, all the different religions, all the different types of people who express their gender in different ways. And so I've been really blessed to be in this city, so that I can really experience experience other cultures and races. And it's only from opening up and seeing other cultures play out who they are and understanding them that I've had more compassion for them, because my small hick town mindset kind of kept me deeply separated, or judging people with my hidden racism. So that's kind of my background. I've also come from a very big mix of different genes. So on my mother's side, there's English, Irish, Scottish, French, German. We've got some Celtic blood that goes way back. I'm sure there's some Viking stuff in there somewhere too. And on my dad's side, it's Dutch, Indonesian, Portuguese, Jew. My grandfather was Jewish. And and further back through these genes, the Indonesians were taken over by Islam, and before that they were Hindu. So there's probably some deep, all the different religions, I guess, on some level kind of cross through my genetic information, and there's a lot of different racial mixes inside of me. In our DNA, it's so vast. I don't think we can even say we're one particular race anymore, or one particular ethnic group. There's been so much intermarriages. There's been so much trade and and traveling between cultures that, everyone's a big mix of everything. So, I don't think we're any one thing anymore. And it's beautiful. We are part of the melting pot. My grandfather's Jewish. He's Jewish, it was hidden. That Jewish part was hidden in our family for a couple of generations. It wasn't spoken about. Nobody knew about it. But he spoke Hebrew and he had a Torah. So he was Jewish. But because of World War II, a lot of that part had to be hidden just for everyone's own safety. So it's really interesting how history can really suppress, deny, hide who we actually truly are, because we've got to survive for whatever reason. Okay, so we have a lot of hidden prejudices and racisms without us even knowing about it. And the reason why we have it is basically it comes from our genes. So it might not even consciously, you might be like, yeah, I can accept everyone. But in your genetic information might have prejudices and racism towards other races because they've been programmed to be like that as a form of protection. Sometimes we have to, like if tribes fought with each other, if cultures clashed with each other, if the Romans came and took over the Celtic, over England, and if you got some Celtic blood, you might have this deep prejudice against the Romans. Likewise, you might have some prejudices against German blood. I know I've got a mix of Dutch and Indonesian blood because the Dutch colonized Indonesia, and my Dutch blood had this superiority energy to it, and my Indonesian blood had this inferiority complex. And so I felt this superior inferiority complex running through me a lot of the time. But that was actually just my genes playing out that drama of that particular country inside of me, if that makes sense. So we have these hidden reasons, hidden prejudices and racisms for many different reasons. One is it's because we've been told we need to protect ourselves from certain people. Two, it's because we need to keep ourselves superior to other people. And three, it's just kind of like deeply ingrained programs. Like I know I look at some races and I almost get ashamed. I have these beliefs or thoughts that come through. It's like, oh, they shouldn't be educated, or they shouldn't be having more money, or do you know those things? I'm like, wow, where does that thought actually come from? Because it's not something that I consciously choose to have, but it's actually part of my genetic information, which kind of flares up when I get exposed to certain races or people from different ethnic groups, depending on my genetic relationship to it. So this is something to look out for. Who are you genetically prejudiced to? Who you genetically have need to reject, do you know? So maybe you can just kind of tune into your DNA now and just feel your DNA and just feel all the different races of this world and just feel which are the ones that you need to reject, which are the ones which you feel superior to, which are the ones that you feel are superior to you, do you know? All of those things are playing out in your DNA constantly all the time. So it's very important that we recognize where our ancestors came from. Who were they fighting? Who did they have issues with? Why do we need to keep and why do we need to keep those belief systems still ringing through us? So you know, we have issues. I guess we got to look at it like this, okay? There are many different let me put it another way. You've got races, okay? You've got Caucasian race, you've got Negroid race, you've got the South American race, you've got the Chinese races, and those races kind of then divide into ethnic groups depending on like you know, like a location, and they will, each ethnic group will have its own culture, its own way of living with life, its own foods that it eats, its own customs and its own obligations, okay? And then what can happen, right, is that the ethnic groups can be against each other for different reasons. So then they start to break into tribes, and then tribes can have their issues with each other. And then what can happen is that Then you've got countries that take over. So sometimes ethnic groups have been split with borders, okay? And then ethnic groups that used to be one get split by borders, or countries remapping things, and then they get separated, and then they can have issues just based on the fact that they now come from different countries, whereas before they were one. So the layers, I guess what I'm trying to say is that the layers of racism and prejudices and separation are quite vast, because the world that we've lived in has been in constant kind of upheaval for a very long time. So they're things to kind of look at as where your racism or prejudices are coming from. And you know, we have to move out of it. That it's basically as simple as that. So I guess I just wanted to let you know that really is that we have, because of our cultural and genetic makeup, we can have a lot of hidden prejudices towards other cultures. And likewise, that can extend into religions. And you know, religions on the most fundamental level, they're all the same. They're all kind of connecting. They're wanting to connect to love. They're all wanting to live a more pure life. They're all wanting to, you know, ascend out of this material world and have a greater connection to the divine. They all want to be guided by heaven so that they can live their life purpose. A lot of religions will do things like praying, like fasting, like you know, reading particular texts and poems which make them understand how the written word of God wants to play out in human form. And each each religion is going to have a different take on that, okay? And then what happens is that people start to move into, my way is the only way to reach God, and therefore your way is the wrong way to reach God. And then we start to get, you know, the whole drama of we're right, you're wrong, we're good, you're evil. And it extends onwards to people actually starting to create wars and fighting, like, you know, like the Crusaders. They went through, and the Christians were going in and killing all the Muslims, and we're kind of still seeing that drama playing out today. Do you know, we see lots of, you know, shootings, you know, recently in New Zealand, you know, at a Muslim, at a mosque where lots of people got shot, lots of Muslim people got shot. And so that drama's still playing out today, very, very strongly. But that war between Islam and Christianity has been going on for centuries and centuries and centuries. And it's kind of like, well, come on guys, you know, this is where has it led us? Nowhere. We've got to start to move out of it. And we've got to start to accept and embrace other religions and cultures. And the other problem with religions is that they can get very judgmental of other people, like you know, this high and mighty view, we're right, you're wrong. And the reality is that each religion has a beautiful facet of connecting to the divine. And I love exploring all the different religions and seeing, you know, what offering each religion or what offering each text gives me, so that I can understand love and the divine more. And so that's really important to look at. You know, do you have hidden religious programs inside of you which is creating judgment? Do you have hidden religious programs inside of you which is causing you to reject other religions and look down upon them? So, you know, these are important things to start looking at. And what we're going to do is we're going to now kind of move into an energy clearing, and we're going to unlock all your hidden prejudices so that you can really start to open up and move back into oneness. So let's see what's going on in the chat here. Sharek, we were taught to be against all non-Muslims. It's a shame. Yeah, of course. And you know, my Christian father was against all Muslims as well. So it's that same drama from a different perspective. I completely get it. Am not fond of German and Russian as they invaded Poland, even though I have some German friends. Absolutely, that's a historical event there that you become cautious of that other country. They've killed, they've hurt. You know, you've got to reject for your own protection. Mari, culture and religion are closely intertwined. Absolutely. Stein, I got up resisting towards Germans and also Swedes and religion in general. Joke roast prejudice against women came up. Yeah, that's really interesting. We create also prejudices against certain genders. You know, are you prejudiced against women? You know, do you feel like they're not good enough, that they can't have higher positions in the world? Do you have prejudices against men, thinking that they're all, after money or superiority, and they put women down? You know, all these things can kind of really warp our view and actually stop us from seeing the truth of the individual. So yeah. And also gender. Do you have prejudice against homosexuality, heterosexuality? You know, all those things. So built into us, where we're taught them from our families to be against people. We're taught it from our society to be against people. You know, I think really quickly, when you look at slavery, when you look at, African slavery, the treatment of them was appalling, absolutely appalling. And they would treat them like animals. They'd have books of how to turn someone into a slave, to break their consciousness so that they would adhere to working and stuff like that. So this stuff goes really, really deep. Shirley, as I have a prejudice with Muslims and Christians but equally Jewish, which I am in life. Okay. And Nina, I feel I have a prejudice against my own country. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's gather now and let's do this. Let's do some collective consciousness shifting and healing. Let's clear all this stuff out. Let's clear out what all this stuff. I'm sorry, I'm not so fluid tonight for some reason. My words aren't coming out as I'm not expressing myself so well, so I do apologize, but I'm sure the energy clearing will be good. Roberta, I had prejudice towards humans for a long time. A few years ago when I started to work seriously with myself and beliefs, I managed to change a bit. Good. Okay, let's go. Sometimes you have good days, sometimes you don't have some good days. Anyway, let's go with it. Alrighty, okay, so this is what you're gonna do, and I feel it now. We're gonna do the energy clearing now. Let's just get straight into it. You get my point. And I'd like to just start by what's actually just coming up in the DNA is that the DNA has actually been sitting in a lot of resentment energy for a really, really long time. And so for generations and generations upon generations, there's been a lot of resentment. Okay, resentment in the DNA, resentment towards other people, resentment towards other races. And so I'd like to just begin by just kind of allowing yourself to get in contact with your DNA inside of you, all that information, because remember your DNA goes all the way back through humanity. And so you're probably holding on to a lot of racism and prejudices there that you don't know. So I just invite you just to, on a mass scale, just start to release it from your DNA. And let it all go. Oh, there's so much there. Whew. Let all that deeply held resentment coded in your DNA, coded in your cells. And it's interesting, it's like this anger I feel coming up out of your cells. Anger towards, I don't know, being, maybe betrayed by another culture, being taken over by another culture, war happening in your land, whatever that is. I just feel this deep anger and betrayal. And it's kind of an anger and betrayal towards everything that is not you. Okay, everything that does not come from your tribe, everything that does not come from your race, everything that does not come from your religion. It's like this anger and betrayal. Let it all go. It's quite a lot. So much there. And underneath all this rage and anger is this deep hatred. Deep, 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 deep hatred. I almost feel like it's so toxic, this hatred. And even goes down to I hate people, I hate men, I hate Christians, I hate Muslims, I hate, I hate whatever the race is. I hate Germans, I hate French, I hate British, whatever it is. And I almost feel like on a genetic level, you're like, when people spit at other people, like they're like, and they spit at them because there's that much hatred. I feel like all this toxic energy is coming out of your DNA. Ooh, let it shake it all out. There's so much there, so much there. And you know, all the resentments and hatred that you have towards other people, if you're in business, it's going to stop those people from coming to you. It's going to stop those people being your clients, you know? So it's really important you start to clear out all this stuff so that you open yourself up to allow all the cultures and all the religions, you know, to connect to you and flow through you. It's just still much hatred and rage coming out. I'm a bit shocked. Maybe we shouldn't have done it all at once. But it's all coming out. I feel a lot coming out of the solar plexus. A lot of energy like I have to kill. I have to kill another person. I have to kill that race. I have to kill that religion. Just get in touch with that genetic energy of needing to kill. It's quite strong. And we wonder why there's war going on, people. Well, like attracts like. The outside world is just a reflection of the inner world, hey? Get in touch with that part of you that just needs to kill that which isn't you and just let it go. Because the beautiful thing is as you shift it in you, it's going to shift it from your DNA, which is going to help shift it from the world's DNA. So while we're here, I'd like you to expand your consciousness and allow the deep need on a world level to kill another person because they're different from you. I'd like you to witness that releasing from you, but also starting to release from the world, releasing from the collective consciousness. Let's allow that to release from the human DNA, this deep need to kill that which isn't you. Let it go. And let's release all the deep hatred for that which isn't you on a world level and on a human DNA level as well. Let it all go. I kind of feel the earth, and I'm feeling like all this rage and anger like releasing from humanity and releasing from the earth. So you might see that as well. Okay, let it all go. And now what's coming up is unworthiness. So when we get into paradigms where we have to kill someone, then we've got this kind of energy like they're either better than us, they're more superior than us, they're going to attack us. And then underneath all of that, on the flip side, you might be holding on to a lot of unworthiness energy. You know, I'm not good enough. I have to be rejected. I'm the one that's is tainted. I'm the one that's not good enough. You know, my race is worth nothing. Okay, so you might feel some deep, deep unworthiness starting to release. Oof, there's a lot there. I just feel like, yes, so much unworthiness. So that could be like, you know, like I said, I have some Indonesian blood in me that was unworthy to the Dutch. So you might have some blood inside of you that feels deeply unworthy. Maybe your race has been told it's deeply unworthy. Let it all go. It's this deep unworthiness energy. And I'd like to allow you to extend your consciousness so that you can release the unworthiness from the world. That deep feeling of my race is unworthy, my religion is unworthy, my ethnic group is unworthy. Let it all go, let it all go. There's so much coming out of you guys. I'm really, well, hey, I'm kind of shocked, and at the same time I'm like, well, look what's going on in the world. Of course we're carrying all this stuff inside of us. So I'd like you to keep letting go of all the rage within you, within your family's DNA, and within the world's DNA, all the unworthiness as well. Can we release all the kind of superiority, inferiority complexes within the human consciousness? Ooh, there's so much of that. can we release the trauma of hierarchy? So the trauma that hierarchy has created throughout the human psyche, can we allow that to release from you and from humanity? And there's quite a lot of trauma with hierarchy, because it creates deep unbalance. So those that are in power can get way out of alignment with power and start to be dictators, and those that are at the bottom of the chain can end up being slaves, do you know? So can we release the trauma of hierarchy throughout human consciousness? Let that release from you, from humanity. Whew. Okay, that's really, really good. Can we now release from you any slavery consciousness that you might be holding on to? Now, slavery has gone throughout humanity for eons of time. You know, it's still going on. You know, now slavery still exists. It exists in sweatshops. It exists in people actually taking other people for human trafficking. You know, it's existed in ancient Greece. It's existed in South America. You know, slavery has existed in within humanity for a very, very, very long time. So can we now release the slavery, the need for slavery? Can we release the imprisonment of slavery and any part of your consciousness that is trapped in the archetype of being a slave? You know, we can be slave to big corporations. We can be a slave to consumer society, do you know? So just let all of that start to go. Ooh, so much slavery. Let it go, let it go. Let it release from the world. It's like all these chains falling off everybody. I don't know, man. I'm seeing all these chains falling off, and I feel this very dark energy wants to release from the earth. A very dark energy of slavery. So let's, as a group, let's clear that all out. And let it all go. You might feel this dark slavery energy releasing from you as well. Okay, that's looking much, much better. Can we now also, on the other end of the spectrum, can we release the need for power? Can we release the need for domination and power and control? And just allow all of that to go. Whew, okay. I feel like it's unlocking from everyone's crown chakra, like this domination, control energy wants to release. Again, within you, within your DNA, and on a world level. It's a very heavy energy. So you might start to feel this control energy wanting to release from you. So it could be, you know, and we get controlled in very subtle ways through media. And then other cultures and stuff can get controlled in very extreme ways, like through dictators, okay? So let's just allow whatever part of you feels controlled, whatever part of you has been coded in your DNA to be controlled, let's allow that to start to release. And Mari's saying it feels like we're tapping into some primal evolutionary patterns. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. It's like we haven't grown out of them yet. You know, we're still stuck in that survival mode. Okay, let it go. Okay, good. Can we now unlock the hidden prejudices and barriers that religion has created throughout the human psyche? So let's unlock all the hidden, the indoctrination that keeps us separate, whatever teachings make us blame the other person, letting it all go, letting it all release. There we go, there we go, there we go. And I just want you to witness light going through all your DNA, and then light going through all of humanity's DNA. That's really good. And let's just see if we can help evolve humanity, evolve them out of these kind of very primitive patterns of relating to each other. Let's just welcome all that new information to come into the human DNA. You might feel a lot of love streaming into the DNA. You know, all the things that you've had to work through, you know, all those teachings, that your wisdoms, let that awaken the human DNA. Because you guys are so wise. You've come so far. So let your knowledge, your teachings, your consciousness activate the human DNA as well. And I'm being shown, okay, so right, I was watching the DNA start to kind of wake up with this new energy and this new consciousness, and it was stuck, it wasn't quite moving. And when I went deeper into the human consciousness, I felt what's stopping humanity from evolving is a big lot of fear. Okay, so big energy of fear that's kind of trapped in human consciousness, which is stopping everyone from going to the next level, which is stopping everyone from maybe embracing love, or, you know, all those kind of things. So I'd like you to extend your consciousness into humanity and just help release the collective fear that we've been holding on to for centuries, for millennia, for generations. And you know, this fear is, you know, we've got it pretty good, guys. You know, we've got medicine, we've got warmth, we've got food that comes regularly, you know, we've got water supply, but humanity didn't have that for a very long time. So there's a lot of fear of things running out, of famines, of disease, the fear of war, the fear of another, you know, country taking over. And that's been human story for so long, and the amount of fear it's created is unbelievable. So I'd like you to extend your awareness into the collective consciousness, into the human DNA, and just allow all that fear to go. Let it all release. So much there, and some of that fear doesn't even want to go. It's kind of like all tangled up, all stuck. So we're going to go in there, we're going to send a lot of love to it. Okay, this is what you guys need to do, okay? So I want you to find in the fear, through the human fear, this might sound a bit abstract, but I'm sure you guys can get there. Go through all that human fear until you find the human heart. So you might see little tiny hearts of every single human that may have existed in this world starting to light up. So, you know, see if you can go through the fear until you feel the human heart starting to light up in people. So if you could just help that process, and as you see that love lighting up in the human heart, you might start to see the fear releasing from the collective consciousness. Okay, there we go, it's all coming out. Whew, there's a lot there. And as that fear releases, you might start to feel a lot of sadness coming up, a lot of tears coming up. It's just the sadness of loss, the sadness of death, the sadness of sickness, the sadness of life, the sadness of the struggle. So just let that deep sadness of humanity release. And you'll feel it coming out of you as well, so you'll feel it in both spaces. Okay, that's really good. Take some deep breaths. Okay, so this is interesting. You're going to witness Every single person that, you know, their hearts have lit up, you're going to witness all of humanity starting to hold hands with each other, okay? And I'd like to release from the human consciousness this whole feeling of being lost. Do you know, like, who are we? Where are we supposed to go? What are we supposed to do? We're lost. You know, what really is our origin? What really is our ancestry? What really is our story? And there's this kind of orphan, this feeling of being an orphan throughout humanity for a very long time. So I'd like you to just send a lot of love and a lot of light to that consciousness of being an orphan, and let's release that whole archetype as well. You should start to feel it released from you as well. And can we release the lost feeling? Like, I feel within the human mind there's like this lost feeling, like, where do I go? What do I do next? How do I do things? What's the right way forward? So I'd like you just to allow love to go into the human mind. Just let a lot of love, a lot of peace come into the human mind. And just feeling all that love going to the human mind, just calming the human mind down. And for some reason, the Dalai Lama has come in to this healing and has just requested to help everyone just move back down into their heart, just like live from your heart. So can we allow the human heart and the human mind to start connecting? So there can be a deeper peace in the human journey. Okay, that's much better. And there is psychological scars of tragedy throughout the human consciousness, okay? So can you allow any experiences, genetic memories, corrupted DNA that has been burdened by tragedy and has kind of gotten corrupted through tragic experiences over and over and over again? Can we allow that to go now? Because I'm kind of being shown it's like humanity's stuck in a bit of a post-traumatic stress syndrome because there's been so much hardship over the generations, over the centuries. So I invite you, beautiful healers, beautiful light workers, just to do whatever it takes to release that post-traumatic stress that kind of exists in the human mind, or that sense of tragedy. There we go. Much, much, much better. And I'd like you to be guided wherever else you need to be guided into the human consciousness. So I don't know, I feel some of you might need to work. Actually, stop. We're gonna work on this one together. We're gonna work on the human sexual energy as well. It's just that for many, it's gotten corrupted. So the human sexual energy may have what has gotten corrupted throughout time, creating things like prostitution, slavery, sex slavery, you know, a lot of distorted things which have created abuse in human incest, things like that have created abuse in the human experience. So I just invite you to move into the human collective consciousness to do with the sexual energy or the sexual experience, and let's just release all the abuse, all the trauma, all the corruptions, and let that all go. And you might feel your sacral chakra starting to clear with this one as well. Let it all go. So much hurt, so much abuse, so much like rape. Let that all go. I'm even seeing the energy of torture coming up to be released. So any memories of torture that are stored inside your DNA or in the human collective consciousness, let's ask for that to go. Wow, so much stuff, hey? So much stuff. Okay, beautiful. I'd like you just to keep sending light into the human experience. So you can send light, lots of light into the human sexual energy to help repair it and restore it. Lots of love. Let's send lots of love into the human sexual energy as well. Okay, let's send. Alrighty. Okay, mental illness is coming up. Alright, it's bigger than we realize, mental illness. Okay, so can you allow whatever healing you can do? So you might do downloads, you might send lights, you might just raise some old energies out, but just to start healing the mental illness. And there are some mental illness like DNA, like corrupted DNA. So let's go in and shift those as well and heal those. Wow, we've gotten so out of shape, haven't we, on some level? Alrighty, just sending lots of love into the human mind, lots of love into the human heart, lots of love into the human sexual palace, lots of love into the human body. I want you to keep allowing everyone to hold hands, so every person holding hands, and let's teach everyone what it feels like to experience love from human to human, what it is to communicate love between people. Let's help people to see beyond religions and to see the truth of what's happening. Let's help people to see beyond cultures, beyond races, beyond gender, so that everyone can return back to that beautiful, loving essence that we all come from, that same energy that we all come from. And really, you know, humanity is here to understand what love truly is, you know. And from that space of understanding what love truly is, we can think better, act better, know better, support better, hold better, you know, bring up children better, educate better, work through the political system better, the banking system better. You know, it's that fundamental understanding of what love is. Not the corrupted versions, not the twisted versions, you know, but actually what love truly is. So just allow every human to have the gift of love. Just allow love to come in and gift humanity with love. And let's teach and activate the DNA so that the human DNA can process love. So that the human DNA can comprehend love. So that the human DNA can express love and make sense of love. And I just want you to place your hands on your heart and just feel that deep alignment taking shape inside of you. Feel your DNA, your genetics, your human ancestry allowing love to take shape within it, and you're feeling it within your body. So just feel that reformatting, that reconfiguration, that reconnection back to love. That's really beautiful. And if you expand your consciousness, I still feel like there's something within the human psyche that's not wanting to experience love. So I just want to let you guys expand your consciousness, or expand your awareness into the human collective consciousness. And let's go individually. You might pick up that the social media is not allowing people to experience love. You might pick up that, I don't know, there's some political system that's not allowing people to accept love. So you might get taken to different places in this world, or you might get taken to different aspects within the collective consciousness. But I'd like you to be guided to do a healing to help shift that, so that love can flow into all areas of humanity, so that love can flow through all countries of humanity. So wherever you're guided to. Beautiful. And just sending a lot of love through social media. So, you know, more and more love flows through the social media, the social interactions between humanity or humans, higher consciousness communication. And let's also release all the jealousy that we get from social media, from other people's amazing lives that we're jealous of. And, you know, that's happening all over the world. It's not just you. So can we release that deep human jealousy, or that comparison that takes place? And let's evolve that to being, you know, inspired by other people, or motivated by other people. Okay, that's much, much, much better. So I'd like you now to focus on all religions, all of them. And let's bring love and union and harmony between all religions. Let's pay particular attention to begin with to the Christian-Muslim dynamic, which has been at war for centuries. And let's just allow a lot of love and peace and understanding to bounce, exchange. Good, and let's allow all other religions to be able to see through more compassionate eyes the differences, but also the similarities of celebrating the divine. You know, it's a really important point. The more we understand why people choose their religion, why people embrace their culture, why people, you know, the more we understand why, the more compassion we have for things. The more intrigued, the more curious we become about their different ways of doing things. So can we help open up the human mind to be curious about the differences? And can we help open up the human mind to appreciate the differences? Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Okay, you guys ready for this? I feel like above the earth is this vibration of peace. I'm not quite sure where it comes from. Like sometimes you can feel it's coming from a particular galaxy or place. I just think it's this divine blessing of peace. I'd like you to kind of look up either above the earth or look down at the earth. I don't know, whichever way you're going to see it. And I'd like you to just allow this beautiful wave of peace just to wash through human consciousness. And it's a blessing of peace. It's a blessing to create peace. It's a blessing to experience peace, and just allow this massive vibration of peace to move through. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let it go all the way down, 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 right down to the earth. Okay, this is interesting. You're going to let this wave of peace come all the way down to the earth, all the way down through humanity, letting it activate the DNA, letting it open up the mind, the heart. But you're going to also allow this blessing of peace to open up the space between the molecules, the atoms that exist within the earth, that exist within humanity, just so that there's more space between everything. So there's more space for people to have a new thought, that there's more space for people to recorrect their actions, that there's more space for people to forgive. You know, just letting that blessing of peace just bring more space to the molecular makeup of reality. And you might feel more space opening up in your body. You might feel your body kind of expanding into peace, expanding into love. So can we teach you, can we teach your DNA, can we teach the human DNA what it is to evolve into love? And what it feels like to evolve with peace? And what it is to evolve with wisdom and compassion and understanding? And what it is to evolve with a sense of community as well. That is to help each other around. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Just let all this beautiful energy settle. Okay, we're going to go with this one. You know, sometimes you just don't know what's going to come through, but we're going to go with this. So I feel the earth, like the actual earth, as like an orphan in the universe. And I just feel like it's wanting to return or reunite back to a particular star. So maybe it's the star of the center of our galaxy, or it's this very big, bright white star. It's like this very feminine star. Like I always see the sun as like, our sun is like this masculine star, do you know? This is a much bigger star than our sun. Like it's massive. And I think our solar system swings around this particular star. Now, whether this is at the center of our galaxy or not, I can't quite pick that up. But I almost feel like that very, very bright star wants to welcome Earth back into its orbit. And it's almost like a mother going, come on, little one, come back to me. Come back now. You're a part of us. And so maybe on a galactic level, Earth has felt very orphaned, you know, maybe it swung too far out in the galaxy and felt very alone, and now it's reorbiting back in. Who knows? But I just invite you to allow that connection, that welcoming back on that galactic level, and just see what happens, see what feelings come to you, what awarenesses come to you as you do that. Maybe it's the star that the Earth, you know, was born out of, or part of that light that the Earth was born out of. Who knows? I don't know. Just allow that reconnection to take place. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So while we're all here, I'd like you to say a prayer, an intention, a wish for our beautiful planet, for humanity. So just whatever that is from the depths of your heart, just say that prayer. It's like it's a blessing, it's an activation. So as you say that prayer, let it shine out of your being, your auric field, and witness that prayer influence the collective consciousness around you. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Okay. Amazing, amazing. So beautiful, people. What happened? Where did you go? What were you guided to heal? Did you feel that galactic star? I don't know what that was all about, but it was quite cosmic. Were you guided to work with certain parts of the collective consciousness? So let me know. I would love to find out from you what happened along your journey. So I'm going to read through the comments. So what do we got here? Okay, so a lot of rage coming out of Jay, a lot of anger. People were feeling the sorrow of the earth. Chameleon, when turning into the collective human consciousness and genetics, you say release it, let it go. Where release it, to the center of the earth or creator, or both. You could send it to both places. That's absolutely fine. As long as you witness it completely dissolve. That's the most important thing. I just tend to send it all up to the creator's light. Sorry, I got a bit emotional. Okay. All right. Gabrielle, I feel like a wound near the umbilical cord of humanity. Absolutely. You can go in. Jay was guided under the sand dunes. Cool. Roberta, see myself being tortured, my fingernails being lifted up, then an amazing sunrise, arise, and my DNA and lineage. Wow. Okay, so torture was quite a big theme that ran through you. Jay, Diamond, the central sun. Amazing. Okay, we got it. Shirley, guided to send the peace through the core of the earth so it can permeate through all of life on earth. Beautiful. Oh, he's such a light worker. Mari, well, I can see that our holding hands is serving as a conductor for this energy of peace. It's allowing the peace to come to our human consciousness. Absolutely. Jay, big work here. Babes, amazing. Yeah. Looks like the video must have switched off. Okay, Gabriella, wow. Shirley, guided to work with and heal the elements as well as humanity. Perfect. Jew, I feel very relaxed now. Fantastic. Joanna, saw Britain connecting hands across to Europe. Guided to work with Middle East and China. Beautiful. Rachel, education, school system not allowing love to be expressed. Perfect. Patricia, love the Dalai Lama visit as I relate my mind and heart union. That was my surprise. I was guided to heal my country, Peru. Perfect. Sharuk, the earth was releasing so much sadness when the big light showed up. Yeah, absolutely. Stein, I felt a very deep healing and a white light connecting up through the earth and into the universe. Felt a hard consciousness of psychopathy dividing humanity and blocking the love from flowing through. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a really good one to shift. Joanna, there was a really fantastic... Oh, that was really fantastic. Thank you. I was guided to send love, acceptance, and knowing that we're enough to the collective consciousness. Beautiful. Thank you. Mary, heal the understanding of humanity, the stars, and the earth were dancing. Beautiful. Rachel, big sacral healing. Hannah, I was healing even Brexit. Good. Yeah, that needs a big healing. Jew, I was guided to send wisdom, love, peace to the earth. I can't read the Russian name, but the peace wave was so powerful. Thank you, Vanya Silverten, for this open-minded meditation. For that, you're so welcome. And Justina, feeling a sense of belonging after reconnecting with the mother. Amazing. Wow, people, that was quite beautiful and big. Thank you so much for doing this world healing. It's really powerful. It's really powerful stuff. You know, I invite you, like I said at the beginning, sometimes we get so caught up in focusing on ourselves that we actually forget to extend our healings out to the world. So, you know, I would often, when I did a lot of belief work on myself, I would always end each belief work with shifting what I shifted within me, helping to shift the collective consciousness, helping to shift the world. So I invite you to expand your healings and do that as well. So that would be really important. So what else we got here? Hannah, so much rejection of earth by others, beings of all sorts of randomness. Yep. Nicole, intense, thank you. I was guided to do healing on the collective consciousness relationship with money, showing humanity it's possible for love and money to flow together. Perfect, we need all of that. Roberta, big shift in the heart chakra. Sacral, we're all one. I saw a heart of one being healed. It was different colors of auras. Amazing. Joke rose, very powerful. Deep hate and torture and control is my DNA shifted everywhere. Very amazing. Cosmic earth healing with everyone lighting their hands and felt the galactic codes coming through. Amazing. Amazing. This is really good. Amazing, people. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really enjoyed doing that. I think it's really important that we do this often, you know. Maybe we should just incorporate it at the end of every Facebook Live we do anyways. But it's good to focus on it. It's good to focus on humanity. Yeah, we've got another Facebook Live coming up in 2 weeks. So I'm not going to be here next week. I'm going to Russia for the first time ever in my life. So that should be lots of fun. And then after that, we do another Facebook Live on, again, collective consciousness healing stuff. Thank you for putting up with my inability to talk at the beginning of the Facebook Live. Maybe my brain was just tuning into like something bigger and I couldn't quite get my words out. I do apologize for that. Sometimes it is hard to translate energy, and yeah, I apologize. But anyways, thank you for coming. Thank you for showing up. Thank you, Nikki. Yeah, thank you. And Roberta's going to do it again on the replay, and I'm feeling all the hearts. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Glad you enjoyed the meditation. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks' time. If you're a Theta healer, we've got World Relations class coming up at the end of April, so that should be really cool. Hannah, incredible, thank you. Yeah, if you haven't liked my page, you can do that to keep updated. If you want to write a review on my Facebook page, you're more than welcome to do that. And I feel very fulfilled being able to hang out with everybody. So thank you so much for joining me. Sending you so much love. Feel the deep peace through the human collective consciousness. And what can I say? Every person that you meet that's different to you, I want you to open your eyes up until you see the love that exists inside of them. Doesn't matter if they're homeless, doesn't matter if they got one arm, doesn't matter if they're, you know, half green, half blue with orange hair. You're going to open your eyes up and see the deep beauty and the truth that they are. So I invite you to do that more and more and more. So thank you so much for being here tonight. Bye. Thank you. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you for all the beautiful comments. I feel a bit, just thank you. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Oh.